Hi, and welcome to a tutorial on how to create interactive content using the free tools built into YouTube. Now, this tutorial also assumes that you can figure out how to get a screen recording software. For example, in my example that I used, I recorded my screen using a software called Blueberry. But there's a lot of other free options out there, and there's some really nice paid options as well if you're willing to pay a little bit for some additional features. So that's for a later tutorial. But anyway, I've recorded a little lesson on fractions, and now I want to add some interactivity. And the first thing I need to show you is I've pulled up the same video in two separate windows side by side for this particular tutorial. And the other thing is I have a YouTube account that I'm logged into. Especially, this is really necessary for the window that you're going to be doing your editing on. So, so for this tutorial, I'm going to go ahead and get started, and we're going to use this annotations feature. So I click the annotation, and it pulls up the pulls up my video and starts playing. And we're going to eventually add an annotation, but I want to get to the first interaction or interactive part of my video. So I'm going to go ahead and play. Today we're going to find out if you are a fraction, same or single. Continue. Here's your question. Which number is the denominator? The 1 or the 4? Okay, I'm going to go pause it. So I don't know if you could hear the audio, but it said which number is the denominator. And the kids, at this point, I want to select whether the 1 is the denominator or the 4. So I'm going to add a couple annotations. So I'm going to add an annotation, and I'm going to select a note. And you can see that a little button has already shown up on the screen. In the note, I'm going to say, pick me. And then I'm going to drag that note here. And then I'm actually going to save. I don't know if you can see these buttons up here, but there's a save and publish. We'll worry about publishing later. And actually, we're going to click somewhere on the screen away from there and make another annotation, another note. And then I'm going to call it Pick Me again. And we're going to save. We're going to put it down here and click away. All right. So now these are going to be buttons that will jump to a certain place in my video. So what I'm going to do is then find that certain place in the other window, and I've created some space. There's the first incorrect answer, so I'm going to pause it right here. And here's a little secret in the world of YouTube, is if you right click on this little button, this, I guess the timeline button, right click, I can copy the URL at the current time. So I'm going to go ahead and copy that and come back over to this window and click on this button, and I am going to make this a link to a certain spot in this video. So I'm going to right click and hit paste. And you'll notice that the URL includes at 34 seconds, which will take me to this page. So I'm going to go ahead, and we do not want it to open in a new window. We want it to just seamlessly jump to that spot. So we're going to save, publish. Oops. Oh, we have to click away and then hit publish. Okay. And then our other button that we want is right here. So we need to find the spot where I talk about the correct answer. Oh, I'm sorry. So we're going to move forward. I create dead space to give students time to make their selection. Otherwise, the video just keeps marching on. Okay, I'm going to pause here. Here's the correct answer spot. I'm going to copy the URL at the current time. On the Pick Me, I'm going to slide over here, get a link, paste that in there, and then hit save and publish. Okay, you notice it told me it happily published. I'm going to go ahead and refresh this other video so it picks up my changes, and let's see what happens. Okay. And look at that. Let's see if it jumps. Pick me. Oh, incorrect. Okay, let's go back and see if the other button works. Whoops. Okay, and it bounced to the correct. All right, so my buttons work. So as you can see, I'm going to continue to go through, and every time there's a point of interaction, I'm going to have the buttons jump to the appropriate spot in my video. Now let's just talk about, philosophically, you could, instead of, if you're flipping your classroom or having students watch video tutorials on particular subjects, there's all kinds of things. Instead of just having them watch a video of you explaining the content, it kind of creates some engaging, they have to respond to what's in the video. Or it could be as basic as on the bottom of the video having little bookmarks, maybe 4 or 5 little bookmarks that can jump you to the different concepts within your lesson. For example, if a student is already familiar with the process of photosynthesis, they can jump to the next subject in your video, or you can actually link to a completely different video. If you have a series of videos on in a particular unit, you can have a landing video that kind of gives an overview for students to pick their content. So you can imagine instead of having kind of static content that the kids are passively watching, it creates engagement in watching the video. So hopefully this is helpful in adding interactivity using free tools within YouTube.